Farm! Next video on the special EXP innocents. Just know that you need to farm them as much as possible when they are available. Farm! Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Jesse here with another video on Disgaea RPG. Today we'll talk about Supreme Girl Laharl. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. First, let's check her kit. Her NE0 gives the party an 18% buff to attack and defense. 18% is a solid number for an NE0, and it only gets better from here. Her NE1 increases her water damage by 70% when equipped with a spear. This ability locks her into using spears, but considering that her S rank attack is water element, it's well worth it. Her NE5 gives 20 SP if she has a crit damage buff. SP gen is very important for your main DPS, and she can self-proc this ability easily. Last, we have her NE7, which buffs her attack and critical damage when there are 2 or more humanoid allies. This ability isn't broken or anything, but it gives a buff to the right stats, and it synergizes with her NE5. For skills, Supreme Overlord's Realm is a self-buff which gives 1000 action gauge, a 70% buff to critical damage, a 25% attack buff to all allies, and a 25% defense debuff to all enemies. This skill is what makes Supreme Girl Laharl so deadly. She can increase her critical damage quickly, and it only gets better when paired with her S rank attack. Her Black Flame Strike is her cheap AoE attack. This gives a small attack buff and it's fire element, so she won't receive the boost from her NE1. To finish with her skills, Supreme Overlord Dimension is her S rank attack. It's a water element attack which increases the critical rate by 40% and increases skill power by 10% when it crits. This, paired with all the critical buff she gets, will have a huge impact on how much damage she can deal. For spells, she has Mega Braveheart at level 22, but she doesn't provide that much as a supporter, and her Supreme Overlord's Realm is the only buff you'll want to use with her. As you can see, she is meant to deal a lot of damage on a short amount of time. The biggest problem when team building is making sure you can increase your critical damage as much as possible. Well, in her case, that won't be a problem. With her abilities and skills, she gets a natural 100% critical damage and a 40% critical rate. In fact, your biggest problem will be finding someone who has big attack buffs, because she's lacking in that department. For team comps, as mentioned previously, you want to pair her with units which have big attack buffs, or units which give attack buffs with their abilities and skills. Bitch Girl Laharl only uses Mega Braveheart as her main buffing tool, but all of her abilities and skills will significantly increase your damage and stats, and she also works as an SP battery. Oddly enough, Formal Seraphina is an excellent pick to put next to Supreme Girl Laharl, because she gives 2 very big attack buffs with her abilities and skills. Admiral Rosalind is another notable pick that pairs well with her. She buffs attack, critical rate, critical damage, and increases damage dealt. If you want big attack buffs, then New Year Girl Laharl is another good option, and she also gives SP to the ally with the highest action gauge when her turn ends. For F2P players, Salome is an excellent unit to pair with Supreme Girl Laharl. She gives 3 different attack buffs, 2 with her abilities, and another one with a skill. If you want to prepare for the elemental meta, don't forget to use Archangel Flown. She gives a nice buff to all stats with her water element attack, and she also gives SP to the whole party. If you got Santa Liz, then she's another viable option for your water teams, since her buffing skill is water element. For future units, the first thing that you need is Maid Salvatores. She is the water element supporter, and she works both as a buffer or debuffer. Pretty Mascot Asagi is a splashable sub-attacker / supporter for your water teams. And Bitch Artina isn't a water specialist, but she has 2 damage boosting abilities and a big attack buff. And that's it, guys. As you can see, Supreme Girl Laharl's main appeal is that she is easy to use, and she also gets the benefit of being water element, which is the first element to receive its dedicated supporter. She is definitely worth getting, especially if you have the right supporters for her. But what do you think? Is she good? Is she bad? Are you rolling for her? Is she a skip? Let me know in the comments. See ya!